They say there's no such thing as a stupid question. They don't watch the Sunday shows. Stand by for a little hair of the dog. It's a very special Dumb Question episode.
When our Jan Crawford asked Governor Romney what he thought about this hubbub, about it suddenly coming about that the Olympic team's uniforms were not being made in America. In fact, part of them were being made in China.
Yeah, I don't like this, but folks, 98% of all the clothes sold in the U.S., they're from overseas, all right? 98%. So unless they want to dress our Olympians in thrift store stuff so they look like hipster douchebags, yeah, the uniforms are going to come from somewhere else, all right? All right, but you know what? Bob is not going to let this one go. Watch.
Now it comes to light that when he was running the Olympic Committee, it turns out that the uniforms were designed in Canada and were being made by a Canadian company. Is that true?
Yeah, Bob's about one season away from going full Emily Latilla on us. What's all this fuss I hear about faxing the rich? Never mind. All right, moving along, top guest on this week was Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, there to talk about his city's skyrocketing murder rate. No, he wasn't. No, he was there to talk about a much more important issue, just how many tax returns Mitt Romney should have to reveal to everybody. You know what, here's the deal. 3 years of tax returns for each year of Obama's college transcripts. 3 for 1, Rahm. Such a bargain. Take it. No? Anyway, here's George Stephanopoulos on the burning issue that's tearing the country apart.
The questions aren't just coming from the president and his campaign, as you know. Just yesterday, the Republican governor of Alabama, Robert Bentley, came out and said he believes that Mitt Romney ought to release more tax returns. Take a look.
I don't want to take a look. I don't even want to look at my tax returns. They make me cry like the old yeller, stupid rabies. So let's move on to the roundtable for this week's pressing issue, everybody's favorite moment from TV. No, I'm not kidding.
Back with our roundtable now, a couple of the most memorable TV moments of all time, according to Nielsen. The number one, of course, the 9/11 attacks back in 2001. George, you, though, have kind of an off-the-wall one.
That's some hard-hitting stuff right there, yeah. But asking George Will what his favorite TV moment is, that's like asking me about the benefits of being sober and avoiding red meat. Just wrong go-to guy. So let's go to Meet the Press, where David Gregory wanted to ask Ed Gillespie what Mitt Romney might think about a company he no longer works for, might or might not be doing years after he left. Relevance.
Does Mitt Romney believe that outsourcing is a legitimate decision for companies to make them stronger companies, more efficient companies?
I want to ask David Gregory if there was a point to that other than to repeat a White House talking point. Yeah? Yeah. On now to David Gregory's roundtable for this week's pressing issue. What you reading? Yeah, I'm still not kidding.
I wanted to talk about something for those who are not obsessing about the campaign as we are every minute of the day, and find out what folks are reading around this table.
Up next, a hard-hitting debate on Oreos versus Hydrox. You know what, why not? We're headed off a fiscal cliff in January. Retail sales dropped for the third straight month. More people went on disability that could find work last month. And the news shows are talking about old tax returns and summer reading assignments and old TV shows. How to come to this? Well, we can now show you a behind-the-scenes meeting from 1992 that explains everything.
You want to go with me to NBC?
Yeah, I think we really got something in.
What do we got?
An idea.
What idea?
An idea for the show.
I still don't know what the idea is.
It's about nothing.
Right.
Everybody's doing something. We'll